in the harsh Russian winter of 1885. Tucked away in the snowy village of Shuska, lived a small but spirited mouse family, the Mousekewitzes. There was Papa, Mama, their daughter Tanya, and the youngest, a curious and bright-eyed mouse named Fievel. Their life, however, was far from peaceful. Vicious cats, the Cossacks of the mouse world, would often raid their homes, leaving destruction in their wake. During a quiet Hanukkah celebration, as the snow fell gently outside, Papa gathered his children close. He spun tales of a wondrous land across the great ocean, America, a place he promised with a twinkle in his eye, where the streets were paved with cheese and, most importantly, there are no cats. He then presented Fievel with a precious family heirloom, a slightly oversized blue hat, passed down for generations. That night, as Fievel drifted to sleep, his mind was filled with visions of this magical, cat-free world, driven by hope and fear. The Mousekewitzes family packed their few belongings and embarked on the long, perilous journey to America. Crammed into the hold of a massive steamship, they joined countless other families, all dreaming of a better life. The journey was treacherous. Enormous waves crashed against the ship, and fierce winds howled. But the mice kept their spirits up by singing a song of hope. There are no cats in America. The melody was a beacon of promise, a shared dream that carried them across the dark waters. But during one particularly violent storm, their dreams turned into a nightmare. A monstrous wave swept across the deck, tearing Fievel from his family's grasp and pulling him into the cold, churning sea. His family screamed his name, but he was gone, swallowed by the darkness, heartbroken and believing their little boy was lost forever. The Mousekewitzes continued their journey, their song of hope now a mournful echo. But fate, it seems, had a different plan for young Fievel. Washed ashore and half-drowned, Fievel awoke days later in the bustling harbor of New York City. He found himself at the base of a colossal, copper-green woman, the Statue of Liberty, still under construction. The sight was both awe-inspiring and terrifying. He was alone in a strange new land, a vast and overwhelming city for a mouse so small. His heart ached for his family, and with his little blue hat pulled tight, he began his desperate search. Just as despair began to set in, he met Henry, a kind and flamboyant French pigeon who was overseeing the statue's construction. Seeing the sadness in Fievel's eyes, Henry took the little mouse under his wing. He sang a spirited song, "Never Say Never," reminding Fievel that courage was his greatest strength. "Keep your heart open," the wise pigeon advised, "and you will find your family." With newfound determination, Fievel ventured into the maze-like streets of New York. He soon discovered the hidden world of the city's mice, living in crowded communities beneath the humans' feet. Here, he met Bridget, a fiery Irish mouse and passionate activist, rallying her fellow mice against the tyranny of the cats. Through Bridget, Fievel was introduced to Tony Topone, a fast-talking, street-smart Italian mouse with a good heart. Tony quickly took a liking to Fievel, nicknaming him Philly, and vowed to help him find his family. Their search, however, led them to Warren T-Rat, a greasy, smooth-talking con artist who ran a sweatshop. He promised to reunite Fievel with his parents, but his friendly demeanor hid a dark secret. Fievel, trusting and desperate, was lured into a trap. He discovered Warren wasn't a rat at all, but a cat in disguise, leading a gang that exploited the mice. Captured and thrown into a cage, Fievel's hope dwindled. But his new friends, Tony and Bridget, wouldn't give up on him. They orchestrated a daring rescue, and Fievel managed to escape, his innocence lost but his resolve hardened. Fievel's story of escaping the cat gang spread like wildfire through the mouse community. His bravery ignited a spark of rebellion. The mice, tired of living in fear, decided it was time to fight back. Led by the sophisticated and influential Gasimonsheimer, they gathered for a secret meeting. Various ideas were thrown around, but it was Fievel, small yet bold, who proposed a brilliant plan. They would build a secret weapon, a giant mouse of Minsk, based on a scary bedtime story from his homeland, to frighten the cats away for good. United by a common cause, the mice set to work, their spirits lifted by the song "We're a Duo," a celebration of their newfound friendship and shared goal. On the dark piers of the Hudson River, the mice unveiled their creation. The giant mouse of Minsk was a magnificent, terrifying contraption of gears, wheels, and old junk ready to be unleashed. As Warren T-Rat and his feline cronies launched their attack on the mouse marketplace, the plan was set in motion. With a mighty roar and streams of firecrackers and smoke, the giant mechanical mouse charged forward. The cats, frozen in terror, turned and fled, scrambling onto a departing ship bound for Hong Kong. The mice of New York were finally free. They cheered in triumph. But in the smoky chaos of the celebration, Fievel was accidentally washed away again. Lost and separated from his friends, his hope once again shattered. Alone in a cold, rainy alley, Fievel curled up, feeling utterly defeated. He had saved the city's mice, but was no closer to finding his own family. He whispered his sister Tanya's name, his voice barely a sound. Just as he was about to give up completely, a faint, familiar melody drifted through the rain. It was the sound of his father's violin, playing a sad, sweet tune that spoke of loss and longing. Trembling with hope, Fievel followed the music. He saw his father, sitting alone, playing his heart out. When the music stopped, a tiny, hopeful voice called out, "Papa." The violin dropped. In an instant, they were in each other's arms. Mama and Tanya appeared, and the Mouseackwitz family was finally whole again, their tears of sorrow turning into tears of unimaginable joy. "My Fievel," Papa whispered, holding him tight. "I never lost hope." As the sun rose, casting a golden glow over the city, Henry the pigeon and his friends flew Fievel high above the harbor. Below them, the Statue of Liberty stood complete, her torch held high. "America is not perfect, mon ami," Henry said gently, "but it is a land of new beginnings." The Mouseackwitz family, reunited and safe, looked towards the horizon, ready to start their new life. Fievel, clutching his blue hat, understood that no matter how big the world seemed, the love of his family would always be his guiding star, his true home. And somewhere, out there, beneath the pale moonlight, a song of hope played on, a promise that love will always find a way.